So, we're off to see Cassandra in the Chantry with the Lord Chancellor. But first, RP Jesus has to go loot a cottage. And wait a moment, how long were these guys standing there for? If we've been here for 3 days, when did they start? Did that elf girl who ran out suddenly tell everyone that green magic hand guy woke up? And they just decided to make a line along the dirt road for us to follow? As for guards, they're not doing a very good job by looking at the thing they're guarding. Shouldn't they have been on adjacent ends of the door of the cottage we were in, looking away from it, to see if others would try to enter the building, not staring at the building this entire time? Or are these religious fanatics who are so scared of the contents of the building? So MMO Hamid passes an actual guard guarding a cottage, who just lets us in, and our looting attempts discover some notes. This one is called Patient Observations Day 3. Part of it states, 2 attempts so far by locals to break into the chantry to kill the patient. I will expect him to wake before the morn. So we originally were in the chantry with 2 attempts on our life, and then we were moved away from the chantry in an unguarded cottage next to the people who were trying to kill us. Who is giving these orders? Some more guys standing around and saluting. Then there's someone called Thren.
Not taking orders right now. Got a problem with it? Bring it up with Cassandra.
Wait, who is this and why are they here? Are they a merchant? Did we really need to know this right now? Then there's more people standing around in groups staring into nothing. I think this is a dungeon. Okay, this is looking like an Inquisition now. Did I just smack my head on the brazier? Okay, I hear people talking, and where are the guards? Okay, there are 2 Templar guards. I'm surprised one of them turned his head. Notice how anyone could have entered this room. No wonder there were 2 attempts on our lives. God, these guards suck. Shouldn't you have at least one guard preventing others from entering the room in the giant empty hallway that is the chantry and the other one inside? They need to have a Pontius Pilate moment saying, well, who are you? They say that you saved us, but then he knocks on the door and there's a conversation. No, there's nothing like that though. Just enter a completely unguarded room.
Chain him! I want him prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
Well, I'm glad to see we understand the chain of command.
You walk a dangerous line, Seeker.
The breach is stable, but it is still a threat.
Okay, how is it an immediate threat if there are no demons pouring out of it?
The breach is not the only threat we face.
Someone was behind the explosion at the Conclave.
Okay, so some third party caused the explosion. That's our real threat.
I heard the voices in the temple. The Divine called to him for help.
So his survival, that thing on his hand, all a coincidence?
Providence. The Maker sent him to us in our darkest hour.
So, choir girl here, who I think is in charge, thinks we're Jesus, and the locals and the High Chancellor want to kill us.
You realize I'm a mage.
I have not forgotten. No matter what you are or what you believe, you are exactly what we needed when we needed it.
Notice how the notification on the left is telling us that Cassandra disapproves, yet what she said to us is completely positive. It's like the game system is this omniscient storyteller giving us this direct insight into a person's mind, yet the person is putting on a front. But now it's kind of confusing. Is Cassandra lying to us? Is this merely part of her personality, or is the game lying to us?
The breach remains, and your mark is still our only hope of closing it.
That's true, but wasn't the problem that the third party that caused the explosion was at the Conclave? I mean, the danger of the breach is gone, so what's the immediate problem?
This is not for you to decide.
You know what this is, Chancellor.
That looks like the exact same asset from the second game, that book that Varric wrote? It looks like a generic Seeker book with the emblem on the front. If we don't know the title, what is this thing? No one would know what this is.
A writ from the Divine, granting us the authority to act.
That's a writ? That's a bloody encyclopedia. How big are these fonts? I mean, what is the Divine's authority here anyway? Do they supersede the crown? Is the Chantry their own country? Do the people just accept the Chantry's pull? Like, how does this all work? Wouldn't there be people who oppose an Inquisition?
As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn.
Okay, and what was it originally born to do? What are we trying to do? Yes, the big breach in the sky is still there. Yes, there are some demons that come from smaller breaches, but demons never change throughout the stories of Dragon Age. They've always been there. The difference is they're in tiny little holes in the air near the ground, and we just closed the biggest one. And there's a third party going around blowing up groups of people, so we're going to post guards at the tears and hunt down the third party, right? On second thought, posting guards might be a bad idea.
We will close the breach.
I thought we already closed it, but now we're trying to eliminate it.
We will find those responsible, and we will restore order with or without your approval.
All right, but why do we need an Inquisition? Who are we trying to inquire about and interrogate? This is Storytelling Problems 101. There's a call to action that requires a religious order of witch hunts and trials to combat heretics. Where? Because we don't know what this Inquisition is about, and so far we have these three goals, which is 1, closing or rather removing the breach, 2, stopping those who blew up the conclave, and 3, restoring order. Now, closing the breach is already done, but not completely, and we supposedly have the power to close it, just not yet. And it's a matter of magical understanding, and in the intro they said it has to grow. So why do we need an Inquisition or a group of witch hunters and religious judges for this?
Makes it all seem so stupid.
Shall I,
Oh God, just pretend, for God's sake!
Stopping those responsible might require some detective work and the use of an information network. Is the Inquisition just a draft to get people to start hunting around for conspirators, like to make a spy network? That makes sense if it is, but that has nothing to do with combating heretics. We don't know what the third party was or was trying to do. So why do we need an Inquisition here? Should we get more information first? Could have been a giant magical experiment gone wrong, and since the only thing we know that are a threat are demons, then why are we getting so worked up? Or even as Liliana said, they could have blown themselves up.
Amongst our weaponry are such elements as fear. I'll come in again.
And the worst reasoning for here is restoring order. Okay, the Pope died. You get a new Pope. Order restored. We don't need an army of witch hunters for that, because we don't know if we're hunting witches or pagans or heretics or whatever. Maybe you'll need soldiers to scout out the environments to locate the small tears, but that's not a huge deal. It's like not going near bear caves or other such natural threats in the wilderness. Where is this chaos? Now, without the game telling us yet what their past Inquisition was about, my mind goes to historical accounts like the Papal or the Spanish Inquisition. I think of religious zealotry, of people who believe that God is on their side and all others are heathens, perhaps to the point of associating heathens or non-believers to be the actual heretics, but that is more of an ecumenical matter and has nothing to do with raising an army.
that would be an ecumenical matter!
This is the Divine's directive. Rebuild the Inquisition of old.
Okay, this is a writ, but was it written by Justinia or another divine? Does it explain why one should rebuild the Inquisition of old? This seems like Mass Effect 2 all over again. We have this thing we need to stop, but have no knowledge of it, so let's make a Suicide Squad, a religious military order. Let's call it the Knights Templar. We already have the Templars. We're gonna... And then we realize as to why this game is called The Apology, also known as the Overcompensation.
That would be an yes!
Find those who will stand against the chaos.
What chaos? A bunch of unknowns who blew up some people. That is not connecting. It could connect if we know the scope of the problem, but the breach is closed to our knowledge. We need to remove it, and there are little tears everywhere. How is any of this chaotic?
We aren't ready. We have no leader, no numbers. And now, no Chantry support.
To do what? Wait, are you guys the Chantry? Okay, Cassandra's part of the Seekers, but she's not in charge of them, so who are all those guys outside? Are they Templars? We had 2 of them in the room before. Are the rest just dudes who just like Cassandra, and now we don't have a leader? Okay.
But we have no choice. We must act now, with you at our side.
To do what?
What is the Inquisition of old, exactly?
Thank you, Vishnu.
It preceded the Chantry. People who banded together to restore order in a world gone mad.
Could you please be a bit more specific? What does that even mean? Did they make a militia? Were there blood sacrifices? What was going on that you needed a group of people to fight the chaos? What chaos? What was the cause of the Inquisition to be formed? To tell a story like this, like in a historical vein, it's wise to have like a central character and say they did this and that's what happened. For example, Andraste. We know who she was, and we actually visited her grave in the first game, and there was this storytelling thing involved. That made sense to explain an entire religion. In this case, we should be banding together because Cassandra said so, and someone wrote a book about chaos being bad.
After, they laid down their banner and formed the Templar Order, but the Templars have lost their way.
No, you skipped over the main part. What was their goal? What were their methods? What was their code of ethics they followed? Were they fighting for? What are we fighting for? If they were before the Chantry, did they just go around killing people who were chaotic because they acted differently or bad? Were they criminals? Were they the Qun? Did they hunt mages? Did the Inquisition members drink lyrium? Were mages part of the Inquisition? More importantly, how is any of this some kind of precedent in our need for an Inquisition? If the game doesn't explain this right now, all we have is Cassandra and her zealotry.
We need those who can do what must be done, united under a single banner once more.
Okay, and that is... why do we need people? To find the chaos?
Why are you casting magic missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness!
But aren't you still part of the Chantry?
Is that what you see?
The Chantry will take time to find a new divine. And then it will wait for her direction.
But we cannot wait. So many Grand Clerics died at the Conclave. No, we are on our own. Perhaps forever.
Okay, so this doesn't have any historical significance aside from restoring order, whatever that means. The Chantry doesn't care, so we're a religious splinter group with swords who answer to no one.
You're trying to start a holy war.
Are we? I mean, what holy war is here? I mean, an Inquisition is one very specific sort of military, judicial, religious thing, and this does not sound like it. And a crusade is another, which is what this is sounding like. But then this would be called Dragon Age Crusade, where we're out to kill the enemies and, I don't know, reclaim our Holy Land, which kinds of makes sense because, the Conclave and the Temple of Sacred Ashes was destroyed. Whereas an Inquisition would be about trying to find out who heretics are and bring them to justice. But again, we're just a group of thugs.
We are already at war.
1900 hours,
By
sir.
high noon tomorrow, they will be our prisoners.
Its mark is upon you. As to whether the war is holy, that depends on what we discover.
What if I refuse?
You can go if you wish.
And I wish there was like one of those early endings where you just walk away. Like, dear audience, BioWare here. Yeah, we screwed up. Sorry. And then we can call ourselves the Strike 2 players in the Dragon Age franchise.
You should know that while some believe you chosen, many still think you guilty.
And that sounds kind of interesting if throughout the game we had to prove ourselves to be a chosen or whatever, and that would get you recruits from religious folk. But that actually never happens.
The Inquisition can only protect you if you are with us.
which logically means that everyone else who's not part of the Inquisition is equally unprotected. This is kind of funny. It's like Cassandra's trying to sell us on this Inquisition idea, like they need all the people they can get for their new murder cult, when we just want to figure out what's up with their hand. And not to restore order, whatever the hell that means.
We can also help you.
It will not be easy if you stay. But you cannot pretend this has not changed you.
Well, it's shown us that you guys are murderous, incompetent religious zealots, and I have this green glowing thing on my hand. Can you please give me a reason to have any faith in you guys? I mean, maybe we can talk to the doctor guy who helped us. He seems cool.
If you're truly trying to restore order,
That is the plan.
Help us fix this before it's too late.
Before what is too late? Which involves what exactly? What am I signing up for here? Any idea what anyone is trying to do here? So then we get Poofy's shirt girl, Liliana's birds, Varric likes birds. One bird goes to what looks like a Templar building, the other to some town at the bottom of a hill, with an unknown gigantic castle in the background. Then we see Cullen nail some sort of decree on the door of the chantry of our small little cloister. Not sure what that's going to do, but it immediately made me think of the story of the Reformation of Martin Luther when he supposedly nailed his thesis to the door of the church. High Chancellor is dismayed. Cassandra walks through the tents where non-Templar, non-chantry, non-seeker dudes are practicing, and they're all ready to go somewhere, and for some reason you're standing there in the front with everyone waiting for her to... And then for some comical reason, a banner is unfurled by itself at the top of the chantry. We see the breach in the sky, and then we get the bloody title screen. And after all this intro, we still don't know what the characters in Dragon Age Inquisition are trying to do, aside from attacking the darkness. Bravo.
Okay, but if there's any girls there, I want to do them!